Monday. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you all have a great and exceptional day and week all at the same time in the second week of February. So let's get it done and let's get it in, and hopefully you guys don't commit too many sins, as one of my favorite former co-workers used to say. Anyways, today's word of the day, I just literally had it, and there it is. It's mental age. All right, stands for a measure of mental development as determined by intellectual tests, generally restricted to children and expressed as the age of which that a level is typical. Now, I chose this word today because I remember being a kid. I sucked at tests. I sucked at regular school, grade school. When it came to, I really discovered my true level of intelligence. True level of intelligence, probably my last 2 years in high school. Because my last 2 years in high school, I started taking education much more seriously. But when I say education much more seriously, not just the standardized education in school that they try to teach you, but I started to take school seriously in regards to learning the things that I was actually interested in, because majority of the stuff in grade school was not interesting at all. And that's why I give credit to the teachers who actually do care enough to the point where they're not trying to battle students and not trying to talk to students like they're a piece of crap. Because I remember dealing with a lot of teachers like that, and I would, me having the smart mouth that I have, I would jab back. It wouldn't care. Especially by the time I became a teenager, I was just like, you know what? I don't care. And the crazy thing is, I remember one thing Jamin Dash said when he's like, he would make fun of his teachers because he was, because he was in the streets, but he was like, I make more money than all you guys put together in a day or even a week than you guys make in a freaking year. So he, that's why he was just like, he couldn't take them seriously, but that's why I give teachers credit, because the ones who care, not the ones that are just there to get the benefits and just be a bump on the log, but the ones who actually care, those are the ones that get my respect. And the ones that just want to be a bump on the log, why don't you go work someplace else where you're not being a detriment to society? That's my personal opinion on that one. But remember taking those tests, and I remember not feeling like I was quote unquote smart enough, good enough, when it comes to academics. And nowadays, when I look at academics, as a grown man, I have a different perspective, because it's like there's various amounts of levels of intelligence, there's various amounts of ways that people learn. The problem with standardized education, it is good to have it, but the problem is people think, society, the education system, whether it's public or private, they think that everybody's learning measures are the same. And that's why you went through those periods through the 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s of everybody has to get a degree. If you don't get a degree, then you're not intelligent. That nonsense, which is not true. Not everybody's meant to have a college degree. Not everybody's meant to be quote unquote a scholar, and that didn't, like I said, that didn't really become a thing until like the 1980s and whatnot, or 90s, especially when more programs are being cut when it came to education, especially vocational education. And then when it boils down to the job market completely doing a flip between the 1980s and the 1990s in regards to more jobs going, quote unquote, factory jobs going overseas, and more products being made in foreign countries, in whether Central South America, Asia, the Caribbean, whatever have you. But they were the jobs were leaving North America, and there were not enough good paying jobs to replace those jobs. And then not getting, like I said, that's my biggest problem with education, standardized education, the majority of the time, is it's not teaching you a skill set. But 9 times out of 10, one has to go get education, get in debt in order for them to, unless they're lucky enough to get an apprenticeship program, or be lucky enough to have a parent or a family member who knew the tools of the trade, and all the person had to do was go pay and take a test to get the certification so they can just be certified, being a mechanic, electrician, plumber, et cetera, and so forth. But long story short, there's various different levels of education. There's various different levels of skill sets. And that's why the standardized tests, if you like me and you didn't really pass them like that, who cares? Because a lot of times, because of those specific tests, that actually made people scared to even try anything academic, because they failed so badly in grade school. And I'm here to tell you, go after your dreams, regardless of the situation. So get out of your comfort zone. I don't care how good you are at your job. We live in a time frame where it's not about even just being passionate about your job. It's about making a difference, one. And then two, it's about getting your money right first, and then putting yourself in a position to where you can turn your job into an option. And sometimes that means you have to take another job that's going to pay you more, but you might hate it. But that's life. Everything's not meant to be, I found my passion, Because if everybody was able to live through their passions and whatnot, most jobs would be vacant in today's world. I'm just gonna keep it real on that one. But anyways, today's quote. I have a couple quotes today. One quote is by Lil Wayne. He says, "I do exactly what I should. I be me, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to say, okay, now I got the power. Let me do things this way. No, because obviously I got the power doing what I do, and I ain't going to stop doing what I do. I'm going to be exactly who I am. So if that dies one day, so be it." Now, I agree with that statement to a certain extent, because one, it's like, okay, you do have to be who you have to be, but you have to eventually have to put on your game face, whether you're a famous rapper or actress, athlete, or whatever. Humble yourself and remember that every day is a chance for you to have some sort of self-improvement. So that's why I agree and disagree with that statement at the same time. I do agree with this statement 100% with LL Cool J says, keeping it real ain't about carrying a gun or smoking blunts. That's all about being true to yourself and those around you. And I could not agree with that statement more. Because one of the things I notice in today's world, it is so cool to just be inebriated upon inebriated. And I'm not knocking the weed smokers, I'm not knocking the drinkers and whatnot, but to constantly have to be inebriated every single day, or at least 4 to 5 days out of the week, is probably one of the saddest things in life. That's just how I look at it. But anyways, on that note, do the great day, free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, make money move, so you're going to live, bro, like a fool. Take care.